Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Tami Patzer, and we are going to have a wild conversation today. I just know because we've been talking before the interview even started with Miriam Smith Stevens, and she's the founder of the Thankful Revolution Legacy Group, LLC. And she is somebody who obviously has a lot of ideas about helping people to achieve bigger and better things in their life. She helps professionals and entrepreneurs unlock their vision. And I think that's so important right now that people need guidance. They need somebody who can really connect with them and help them see who they are. So, with that, I'm going to let Miriam talk more about all the things she does. But Miriam has actually created signature frameworks, CPR Plus N.O.W, and I'm going to let her explain that. And then also Five to Thrive. So listen up, and I suggest that you take notes and also plan on re-listening to this conversation because we're going to cover a lot of things in great detail. And with that, welcome, Miriam.
Thank you so much, Tammy, for having me on your program today. I really appreciate it. And yes, we've had such a great time just talking pre-program. So I'm going to enjoy our further conversation.
Well,
Who am I? Who am I? I
who
guess.
who are you? Yes. And first, give me a little bit about the story
Okay.
behind the Thankful Revolution Legacy Group. And then, of course, you can break down those frameworks for everyone because I think people would really like to know who are you in relationship to how you're going to help them.
Okay. Well, one of my messages, and it's funny, I'm going to be talking about this tomorrow on a masterclass that I'm doing, is called The Power of Pivot. Let me take to you back 16 years ago. I shouldn't be here today. Actually, I should be dead. I should be dead. And really you probably be saying, "What? Am I talking to a ghost?" No. So 16 years ago, an unknown assailant decided to invade my home. Didn't know who they were. They were masked up, but the assault occurred. And in my effort to get some help, I screamed. Well, that scream yielded me to be choked. And the last thing, as I was gasping for air, was, okay, God, I guess this is what it means to die. Because my son was off to college. I'm a single mother. I was going to be there, in my resident. Nobody would know that I was there for a while. Well, obviously, I didn't pass away because I'm here talking to you today. I'm not a ghost. Ouch, I pinched me. I hurt. And what happened was when I realized I didn't go to the pearly gates of heaven or in the demonized situation of hell, whatever you believe, you may not believe any of that. But I woke up and realized, okay, this attacker is still assaulting me. I've got to pivot. Obviously, the screaming didn't help. So what God dropped and downloaded into me quickly was a strategy. I figured after my years of customer service and professional communication and management and supervisory and all of those types of situations, I would train my agents, build rapport with the person on the other end of your phone. Okay, so you think that's probably the y'all out there thinking this is crazy. This person is trying to do you bodily harm and doing bodily harm, and you're going to try to build rapport. And that was the strategy. I said, if I keep talking, he's not choking. I got breath in my body, so I'm gonna keep talking to this person and I'm gonna negotiate my life. And that's what happened. I kept talking. I negotiated my life. I made myself human. I built rapport. I became compliant. I didn't scream anymore. And eventually the person left. So, okay, so I got through that situation. Thank you. But what happened was the aftermath of hell, my personal zombie apocalypse. I'm living in my own Walking Dead movie. And why? Because I lost so much after that. Okay, first of all, you lose your peace, you lose your dignity, you're walking in shame. You didn't create this situation, but it was placed upon you. So now you got all this stuff to deal with. And yes, I went through the typical therapies and all of that, but then my lucrative job decided to let me go. So I lost my lucrative job. All right, so now I'm all these losses are like a rolling effect, rippling down a hill, snowballing. And I lost my job. I lost my money. My son did come back from freshman at college, so he never completed that, but he's living life doing well now. But here we are. Then I lost my car, my dream car, which was a Mazda with a booming music system, which was probably good because I am a speed demon and I probably would be paying tickets today if I had that car. But I lost that. And then I started losing income. Eventually, we became homeless or we lost our resident. But right before that time where we got that notice of eviction, the situation, God downloaded into me. Now, let me tell you what he did. He gave me a cup of soup, a prayer for my son, and a fit of hysterical laughter. A cup of soup. And that's what I'm thinking too. Okay, so what was that all about? We're scrounging around. I'm sitting in my bed, just like lifeless. I'm just existing at this point, Tami. I'm not living. I have no purpose. I'm just, you know, some people out there, when you feel hopeless, you may have suicidal ideologies. All of these things are going through my mind. It's just, I have no purpose. I've lost it. I'm nothing anymore. So I'm sitting there and I really wasn't eating that much, but I had a hunger. So I asked my son, could you find any change in this house and see if you can go to the corner store and get me one of the microwavable cup of soup? Because I had a craving for a cup of soup. So he did. We found some change. He went, got me a cup of soup, came and microwaved it, brought it to my room. And even though I was a person of faith, I'm not saying I lost my faith, but I couldn't pray for myself. I was at my edge. And so I looked up at him while I'm in my bed looking all probably like death warmed over. I was like, can you pray for me? And he did not give me any pushback for once. And so he did. He handed me the cup of soup. I'm holding this cup of soup. You know, when you microwave it, you open the top a little bit, you put the water in, you steam it, and then, you know, the little ramen noodles or whatever bubbles up. Well, I'm holding a cup of soup while he's praying. I'm just laying back in my bed, and the steam is rising to my nose. And he starts to pray, Lord, please help my mama. And that fervency, and I don't know what happened, Tami, but the same roar and scream that I screamed in that same room years before that time when that attacker had came up out of me. And I screamed again. And what I screamed was, Lord, thank you for this cup of soup. A cup of soup, Tami. I'm thanking God for a cup of soup. And me and my son looked at each other and we're quirky. We started laughing. I cried, I laughed. I'm sure if you all, look on social media, you see these people laughing and there's nothing coming out. They're just crying, laughing, hitting each other, rolling over, and you don't hear any sound. That's the kind of laugh we had. I laughed, tears was coming down my nose. I'm a lighter hue, so I was turning red. My nose got stopped up. My stomach was hurting. I just laughed, laughed, laughed. And he laughed at me because we were like, cup of soup, what the world, breaking my prayer for this? I'm praying for you, Mom. And you interrupted me for thanking God for a cup of soup. And what broke at that point was all that contrite, all that depression, all that zombiness land and apocalypse that I was living in. And God told me, daughter, look, I don't care what you go through. I got your back. But what I want you to do is give me thanks. Hence, the thankful revolution was born. So my focus has been, regardless of the ups and downs, and the journey did not end. I mean, right after that breakthrough, that pivot, we got evicted. So I guess I needed that breakthrough to deal with having to find some place to stay temporarily. And God provided us a couch, even though it wasn't our couch. We lived on a couch for a moment. And in through all of that, our ups and downs, I still have the focus of God, thank you. So that was the pivot. He pivoted when I was on my death floor with an attacker, and he pivoted in that same room where he got me out of my death-like state so that I could find purpose from my pain. And that is now a passion that I have. So I have a musical background. I like to sing. My mama was a music teacher, retired teacher, and our family think we can all sing it. And my dad used to play the trumpet. My son played the trumpet. So we have an affinity towards music. And I find that music takes us to a place. Music takes us to maybe our first date. You hear a song. Music takes you to a place where you had that wedding, or it just brings you someplace. And it was my therapy. You know, two songs got me through my situation. And those two songs were my therapy. And so what I find that now as Miriam, aka the brand paramedic, I provide you CPR Plus Now framework of 5 to Thrive so that you can get your song of your life birth. I help you identify literally. I have written and I have created songs from my clients that has helped them keep their joy and their stamina up and their bounce back and resilience when they're going through rough times. Because when you're doing businesses, you can have your ups and your downs, your ebbs and your flows. And sometimes you just need something to just push you through. You can do this. You can do this, so you won't lose hope. As well as I use my background in marketing and journalism and communication, all of that to help people find their own brand message, find their logo and their marketing message. And the CPR is the journey that I had to take, which means C is crisis. Everybody I feel like has a crisis. They have a chaotic situation, something that will change the trajectory of your life. I didn't wake up that morning saying I'm going to be assaulted and choked out. Who does that? Who believes that their life is going to change drastically when they wake up? And sometimes we face a crisis. Then we will either elect to remain in crisis mode and just exist to die, or we make a pivot, which is P. And that's where I had to get to the crossroad of my life and decide to make a pivot. I didn't want to just exist anymore. I wanted to have life. I needed to have life. I had to thrive. I had to make an impact. I have something to say, and I know that I'm of worth. So all of that was trying to be choked out of me needed to come back up out, and my voice needed to be reclaimed. And then we go to the R, which is rebirth. So out of my death-like state, I'm rebirthing into a new paradigm. I'm going into a newness of life. The plus in the middle of the CPR is my personal foundation. My foundation and my faith and my belief systems, those things helped me get through. Even though I was holding on on a thread, it did help me get through. And then I move into my now, which is new beginnings is our witness. And as I shared before, we are witnessing, and I had to witness for me a transformation. And those that I work with, they can witness within them their own personal transformation. And then everybody else will see it too. And we can start a rippling effect. Because why are we here? We're here to make an impact. We're here to be influencers. We're here to leave a legacy, a footprint to help others. We're not just here to be selfish and live on an island. We're populated with millions of people on this earth. Everybody's worth something. Everybody has a story and everybody has a song. And that's what I'm here to help you find your song and help you rewrite your story. The 5 to Thrive is just that. My mom was a teacher. My grandmama, me, I was named after my grandmama, Miriam. She was a teacher. I love back to the basics. And when you were in the basics in elementary, you learned your R's. Well, back to the basics is you reclaim your voice. We're going to teach you how to reclaim your voice. We're going to teach you how to resuscitate your life. Get some passion back. Get your purpose back. You're going to rebound from trauma, whatever the setback is. It might not have been what I went through, but sometimes a lot of people now are facing pink slips. Maybe maybe your spouse left you or you left them, something you're rebounding from. Get some resilience back. And then we want to renew. your mind. Because all of this is about a decision. If you're pivoting, it's all about a decision. It's about what are you thinking about? What do you dwell on? What are you meditating on? I had to get that zombie loop, that movie out of my mind so that I could get clarity, get some perspective, and get into a newness, a new frame of thinking, a new frame of living. And then finally, we get to R. And as people in journalism or in communications, we love a story. We love a good story. So we're going to rewrite your story and we're going to come up with a new song for you. And so that's my five to thrive as well.
So, of course, you said the first thing you were talking about, where you said two songs, and of course, I need to know what those two songs were.
Okay, so I don't know the rights of them. I guess that's the disclaimer. One is Mary J. Blige, Just Fine. And then the other one is Donald Lawrence, which is I Speak Life. What happened was when I was working before they let me go, right after the situation, I call myself trying to come out of my hermit state and my recluse and not to give in to the fear and shame and all of that. So when this situation happened in October of 2008, I said, I'm gonna go back to work in December. Even though I go through a few therapy sessions, I'm thinking I can do this. By that time, they're changing all kind of things. And when I went back there, I was not ready. And there were some other things that transpired. And then I was let go. But going to work, I had to come from a peninsula in the Hampton Roads, Virginia area. Those who know the Tidewater, Virginia area, there is a bridge you have to drive across and a tunnel you have to go through to get to the south side where my job was. Every day going across that bridge, I wanted to drive off that bridge. I had to play, and y'all, I'm not going to tell my age, but y'all remember you got those little 8 tracks, those little CDs, those little cassette tapes. I played my little CD and had to spin that music constantly in order for me to actually drive on that bridge and not drive off the bridge, literally every day. So those two songs helped me get through it. I had to just keep playing that loop in my head. So shout out to Donald Lawrence and Mary J. Thanks.
So, another thing that you talk about is gratitude. What what part does gratitude play in helping people to, apply the CPR plus now and your five to thrive? Where is gratitude in all of that?
It's easy, and I think we were talking about news. It's easy, especially in the news medium, to always get the negativity of things. I mean, we're in an era of cancel culture. It's easy. That's the easy way. But if you want to change the vibration of your thoughts, of your life, the trajectory of your life, you've got to make a decision that I'm not going to focus on what's the easy. I want to focus on what I'm often neglecting, which is right before me. And when you start shifting your focus into, oh, thank you, I got up. Oh, I have even if it's just one thing you're grateful for, like I'm on a weight loss journey. Okay. So I moved a little bit. I sometimes struggle with a little bit of mobility, but this time I moved a little bit further. I'm grateful for that. Okay, so you are your weight loss journey and you lost 5 pounds and then you gained three. But look, you lost five. Let's be grateful. Let's start focusing on the little steps. And if you focus on that little by little by little, I assure you that eventually you're going to look at where you started on point A to point Z. It's like, wow, things are great, because that's what you're focusing on. What you dwell on, what you meditate on is what's going to come up out your mouth. And I'm a firm believer that you reap what you sow. If you sowing out your mouth some negativity, you can wonder why your environment, literally your friend group, or y'all got that negativity, or that your home life is wrong, or your career is not going right. What have you been speaking about yourself? What have you been thinking about? So if you got an attitude of gratitude, you could change the trajectory of everything in your life just by making one decision that I'm going to be thankful. And for me, making that one decision to focus on the good things, the pure things, the things that, you know, are sometimes not the easiest, but it does become, because it becomes a habit. When you start doing that, it changes things. It changed my outlook. I was able to get through. Life be lifing. That's a statement that people say. Life be lifing. And yes, life be lifing. And just because I made that decision that day, that didn't mean I still didn't get evicted. Life was lifing, but it was my attitude, because God made a way for me and my belief system. But even if I wasn't a believer, it's a universal principle. What you put out there is what you're going to get. And so if you're putting out their joy, you're putting out their peace, you're putting out their progression, you're putting out their thanksgiving, you're going to get that back in return. And that's such a more beautiful life to live.
So one of the things, so gratitude. So what would your top advice be for somebody who feels just like stuck? Like you said, you were living the zombie apocalypse. And obviously you definitely were stuck in a place. So if you had to give somebody like a step by step, what would you tell them?
My first thing is that I would say you're okay. And it's okay to not be okay. That's my first thing, is to recognize whatever position you're at, it's okay to not be okay. And there's no shame in that. And please do not listen to people that say, well, it's been a year, it's been 2 years, you should be over it by now. That's their life. They didn't walk in your shoes. So it's okay to own you and own your path to healing. You have grace for that. So it's okay. Secondly, I would say, all right, what do you want? Do you want to remain in the place of stagnation, less lacked in, and limitations? Or do you find that there's something else that is more? Some people are comfortable. A whole percentage of a lot of world in this world are comfortable just remaining in mess. But if you find there's something in you, and I'm speaking to those persons that find there's a nudging in them, that there's got to be something more. I cannot just be here existing for 60, 70, 80 years, 90 years just to expire. No, there's something more. And yes, you're right. You were born for greatness, for something more. And so then once you can catch that vibe, and you have to fight through everybody else trying to tell you or trying to give you an identity crisis. You've got to fight through that. You've got to own who you are. If you feel like, oh, I've messed up, well, one of my spiritual advisors told me nothing in life is wasted. I don't care what you've done in your life. It's not wasted. It may be an opportunity for growth. It may be, oh, okay, so I did this. That didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out. Let's pivot. Let's change a little bit and tweak it and try something else. How many of us have whoever made the internet? I'm sure they didn't win the first time they started this situation. Me and Tami wouldn't be talking if that person gave up. If Zoom didn't, be created. So there had to be some pivots. There had to be some ups and downs. So get realistic about the journey. The journey isn't always peaches and roses. So if you get a realistic viewpoint of it, then you should be able to deal with it when some setbacks come. Because I do also believe that, and this is just my personal belief, that we're set up for a step up. I just believe that. I just believe a lot of times you get that pink slip, you might get a doctor's report, you might get a police report, and it can feel like a setup. And I believe we are, but then right around the corner, it's a step up. So how is your perspective? What are you thinking about? So the gratitude, if my perspective is okay, yeah, right now I'm in my feels, and that's okay. Let's own it. I'm not feeling too happy about it. I just had a moment this week where I was in my feelings and wasn't feeling great. I was in a suffering state. I had a lack and less than and limitation attitude, but I got through it. And when I got through it, the next morning after not really getting any sleep, I was on a program, I pivot, and I got to move through. I was voted to move through to a next level. Didn't even know. But if I had remained and kept myself in a negative state, I would have missed out on my opportunities. How many of us have missed out on opportunities because we've been in a funk? Let's get out of that. No time to be the victim. Let's be the victor. We were not born to be the victim. We may have been victimized, but how you choose to respond to that is really going to direct the rest of your life or the next. A lot of us are asking, what's next? Well, what's next is how are you responding? How are you responding? Those are some of the things I would say and think about.
Well, that all makes a lot of sense because that's part of responsibility is how you respond to different things in our lives. And but I find very interesting is sometimes there's people who, how we just live our lives and we make it through different things that to some people they would have thought would have broken them, and they can't believe that you made it through and you're still moving on up. And I always think that's interesting how sometimes people think that, like, what I consider life bumps in the road, and to them it would have been a mountain, a huge crisis. So what is discovery dream dialogue sessions? What is that?
So, what I like to do is listen to a person because what's in you, everybody, there's a lot of people saying they're coaches and there's a lot of people saying they're consultant, and it's a booming business and everybody has a voice and a story, and I support that. When you come talk to me, that is it. I want you to talk to me. I want to be your listening ear. I want to create a safe space where you feel comfortable enough to share whatever it is. What is your dream? So I told you I just got off the phone with my mama and my 89-year-old mama who's out in Kansas. And of course I got to put a plug in. Go Chiefs. We got to get a three-peat. Okay, so now that I've done my shameless plug, dream. I told her, I said, Mom, did you ever know that my dream was when I was a little one, I was in my room and my grandma and me would send me all these books. So I was acting like a librarian. A lot of people was playing Barbie. I was playing librarian. And growing up with the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew. And did you ever know that I really wanted to be like Les Brown? She was like, really? I didn't know that. I said, yeah. And I had put that dream behind me. Life happens. You grow up, you go to school, and I didn't pursue that dream. And so, how many of us have had a dream that we let rot or fester or go dusty or under a rug? And then you're at a certain time of your place where you might have to do a pivot. Maybe you did lose your job, but you had a dream. You wanted to create your own business. You're crafty, or you love to cook. You never pursued it. So I'd like to hear what your dream is. What is your story? Again, I go back to that. I love hearing people's stories. When I wrote for a corporate job, a lot of people I would interview, and they were like, I don't have nothing to say. I'm not interested. And I said, you'd be surprised. By the time we finished and they read their story, it's like, wow, I didn't know this about me. This is great. And then when you post it on the internet and people are just praising it, it's like, oh, thank you for sharing. That was so enlightening. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a dream and a vision. And so I'm here to be like that brand paramedic to help you resuscitate it, get it out of flatline situation, and let's bring it to life. Let's put it to your forefront. Let's put it back into your vision. Let's get your perspective straight, and then let's go for it. Let's come up with some strategies for how you can go ahead and do that. So in our Discovery Dream Dialogue, I'm basically here to listen to whatever's already within you. And let's pull it out. And I help facilitate that to come out so that you can go ahead and go for it.
I really like that. When you first told me that you were the brand paramedic, I was trying to imagine what that meant. And now I understand how you literally help somebody resuscitate their dreams and who they are. Because, like you were talking about, real life sometimes just kind of knocks you for a loop. Like, like you said, you literally had a masked assailant try to choke the very voice and life out of you, and you were able to pivot by negotiating for your life, and then they eventually, I guess, let you go. Tell me about some of the people you've worked with. I asked you about that in the notes, and you mentioned somebody about her name is Constance Wills. Can you tell me a little bit about her?
Yeah, so Constance Will, she is the founder of Beauty Beyond the Wall and the co-founder of A Moment with Constance. And A Moment with Constance, if you're on Facebook land like I am and she is she provides messages just about mindset. That is her really thing. Let me tell you a little bit about Constance. Constance is one of my colleagues and accountability partner, and we met in a framework called Finding Purpose After 50. And we became accountability partners and we kicked it off. You would think we're sisters because we just kicked it off and we vibed really well. While she was sharing her story, because as I told you, I love hearing a person's story. She was a probation officer for years. That was her job, and then she retired. And Constance is in her 60s now. And when she came out of that, she was like, what do I do now? Who am I? And she had to find herself. All of those insecurities she had to deal with, all of those things that she pushed aside because she was on the grind of working, she had to reckon with. And she realized after joining the coaching club and getting some framework done and going through the classes and things and working on herself as well, that, oh, I got to shift my thinking. I do have a purpose. And so when I came in, because she's an OG in the coaching club, and when I came in, and I'm an advocate, coaches need coaches. So when I came in and we became accountability partners, she was sharing her story and she was on the cusp of greatness. And then what happened? Initially, she was called Beauty Behind the Wall, but now she's beyond the wall. And I assisted her with finding her life song because we're both musical people as well. We get a vibe. She said, that vibe right there, that song, I have danced to that song. And I just literally, based on her taste, her style, and her message, and the heartbeat of who she was and what she went through, I listened. Again, I listened. And she told me who she was. I put it together in a song. And now she has a song. Like I had a song. I had two songs. Well, I've actually given her a lot more songs. But that one song that I gave her initially has been her go-to to get her through some days. As people, as humans, we got to get through so much. And the mind is a terrible thing to waste. I know that's a commercial, but it's truly it could be a wasteland of crap. Let's just be real. So instead of that, we got to fill it with other things. And sometimes it's that song, what you let in your ear gate. It could be a joyful song. It could be an affirmation of message. It could be somebody that you hear on audiobook that you're hearing to build yourself up. And that's what I helped her with. I also helped her with some logos so that she can have that. And we talk about some marketing messages. And now she is one of these mindset gurus. Matter of fact, she's going to be one of my speakers on tomorrow, my victory party tomorrow. So that was she was my first client, actually. And so she was the one that was a seed. She was my first paying client. I've had clients, you know how you help people out and don't pay, but you weren't looking for it at the time. Well, she was one of my first paying clients. So that was Constance.
So even though your master class that you're doing tomorrow will probably be in the past, maybe you'll have a replay or something, or have another one in the future. Tell me about this program that your master class that you're working on and what's involved. And again, maybe you'll have a replay or do another one in the future that we could uh, talk about so people can understand what they might benefit from.
Absolutely. So, one of the things, again, as I said, faith is one of the guiding principles for me in my framework. Although you do not have to be a person of faith because believe in universal principles. I created this master class because I felt like there was an identity crisis going on. So the title of We Are Royalty, Embracing Our Heavenly Identity. And the first one I had was December 14th, 2024. The goal is I brought an eclectic, diverse speaker panel. People from Emily Clement, who has traveled with Tony Robbins on that stage, actually supports them, and she created a message for me. I went through one of her classes, and she created a message for me to share about her journey from Mario Pinardo, who does Achievement Dynamics and is a community partner with me, to Constance, who talks about mindset matters one thought at a time, to myself, who I talked about what started this mess in the beginning was by God's design, we were created to be the dominant ones, to reproduce, to multiply, and we messed that up by one decision and we gave our rights away. So now we got to get back to the state that we were originally designed to be. To Erica Ward, I am a vision recipient of Divine Concept Group, nonprofit group, and they believed in me, so I started this uh, masterclass series, which I do monthly. And so one of the things is I wanted to create avenues where diverse people could come together, talk about a subject. In tomorrow's classes, we're talking about wealth matters. Prosperity is not profanity, everyone. We're supposed to be prospering. We're supposed to be rich, not only in our mind, will, and emotions, our souls, but also in our pockets, in our pocketbooks. How you got a dream, you got a vision, you got to fund it. So we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. And the other part of my goal is not only bring diverse topics to help us with our identity, to build that identity, to get our mindset right so that we can go for our dreams. I also want to be a blessing to people in the community, because why are you doing this? Why are we here existing if it's just to be a selfish gain? That doesn't make any sense for me. So I was able to have the first recipient be Bernadette White. And she has shared in a video, and it's posted on my website, the Thankful Revolution LegacyGroup.com. And at that time, she won a scholarship to come to my masterclass. And she was going through, I didn't know until we opened up at the end and she shared her story. And as she's a single mother and homeless. So, my heart was right there. I felt it. And this is December, the holiday time, and she's going doing Uber and all that, but basically has no permanent resident. So she's having to struggle every day. If you don't make that payment to the hotel, you out on the streets. So every day it's a struggle for her. And so we were able, because part of the proceeds will always go to help a charity or a family in the local community or wherever. And that is why I work with Divine Concept Group until eventually my business will become a nonprofit. I work with them. I'm a part of the group anyway. And we work not only for our local community, but we spread out and help people even in overseas, Africa, Haiti, all over the place. So I really am a proponent for that. And so that's a dual fold, not only to build ourselves up, but to also pay it forward for others as well.
So the master class, you said that you did the first one in December. This is January. So I take it that you'll have another one in February, March, etc. So people can find out about that. So before I let you go, let me know how people can reach out to you to find out all about what you're doing and how to join in on the master classes, or maybe they'll want to do a dream dialogue session. That sounds very enlightening, I guess might be a good way to put it. But I mean, it just seems like that would be a really good adventure to go on where somebody actually listens to you and hears you and helps you to see who you are. I think that that's a really valuable service.
Okay, well, a couple of ways. First of all, typically my dream dialogues are $60, but I am providing them 30-minute complimentary sessions. Um, the other thing is your masterclass. If you're interested, I am on Eventbrite. It's under We Are Royalty, Embracing Our Heavenly Identity. But if you look up the Thankful Revolution Legacy Group, you'll find me there. However, my website is the Thankful Revolution Legacy Group.com. When you log on to that, TheThankfulRevolutionLegacy.com, you log into that, it's going to pop up for right now the event information. So you can click right on there. I do have a website that gives you details to the different speakers. We've got a speaker that's sharing a message that's currently in Cuba. We've got another speaker that's been on the stage that wants to create millionaires. We've got other speakers that are elite coaches that have been helped with the NFL and have, if you're a Patriot fan, you want to hear his story. We've got another speaker that's talking about achievement dynamics again and about the talents that we have. Of course, yours truly, I'm talking about the power of pivot, and Constance is talking about mindset matters. So we've got quite a few, and we'll have some people share from their impact from when they came before. So we have a lot of people. The ticket is only $12. And so you're just a drop in the bucket to come. And we even have scholarships right now. So if you DM me, direct message me, some people don't like it, I welcome it. Go ahead, hit me up. I'm on Facebook under my name, Miriam, Miriam Stevens, Stev, like in victory, ENS, AKA The Thankful Revolution. Hit me up. I can let you know how to do a complimentary ticket, or if you want to make a donation, we've had some people pay it for it. That's why we can give some complimentary tickets. You can do that as well. It's open. You can cash at me if you want to do that. I'm at cash sign the thankful, well, not the thankful, but cash sign Thankful Revolution. You hit me up. You want to pay it forward, you want to get a ticket, you can do that. You can hit me on an Instagram. I am at the Thankful Revolution on Instagram. And I'm on LinkedIn under MissStevensPR.com. And everything is always going to be the Thankful Revolution. You'll see a little globe with CPR Plus Now, and then the Thankful Revolution logo around that. So again, I'm on Facebook mainly, LinkedIn mainly, and Instagram mainly. I did have TikTok, but I know that's under debate right now, so I'm not emphasizing that. My email is information at the Thankful Revolution Legacy Group LLC.com. That's the professional email. And then my regular email is Miriam Smith Stevens at yahoo.com, which is my name, Miriam Smithstevens at yahoo.com. Now, if you send the email there, which I would get it mainly there as well, you have to put on the, I would also say, go ahead and send me a DM, especially if you want to come to one of the master classes for tomorrow. I definitely will work with you on that. We're going to have some other one, the February one in honor of Black History Month. We'll be doing a shorter class. Typically, they're 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, um, normally on a Saturday. And it has been, though I'm not saying it's going to be historically going to be this, but it has been so far the third Saturday of a month. However, it will be changed up in February. and we'll do it shorter for about an hour just to have a dialogue. We can all come together. Want to pull back on our diversity appreciation. And then in March, we'll probably be doing one on a women's speaker panel. So maybe you'll come out, Tami, and have you on the
Sounds
class
good.
because I want to, in honor of Women Appreciation, we want to showcase that and then keep it moving. So that's how you can reach me, the
Okay.
Thankful Revolution Legacy Group.com.
Great. So, everyone, with all of that, I will also make it really easy for you, and I'll include all of the hot live links in the show notes so that you can just do a click and you'll be able to connect with Miriam just with a simple click of a button. So, Miriam, wow, we've really touched on a lot of different things today. So, what would you like your final message for everyone to be?
What I want people to realize is that you are worth it. You are worth it. You're worthy. You're important. Your voice is so necessary. I'm waiting for it. I need it. It's an encouragement. And so, with that said, if you're finding it difficult to find your voice, maybe it's evolving, and that's okay because as we grow, we're always evolving. We're always getting older. That's fine. Our message may be different, and that's okay. Maybe you might need some help with that, to the different phase of your life. You got a brand paramedic here to help. But I just want to help dreamers and doers find their life song and build their legacy, build their brand legacy, be able to say, instead of on their deathbed with their loved ones or whoever they're with, that you have regrets. Instead of that, let's say I did what I was born to do and can go into wherever you're going with joy, with peace. And I'd like to be someone to help facilitate that for you to be able to leave a legacy, leave your footprint with joy, with peace, find your song, find your message, catch that vibe. Let's thrive in 2025 and come on and join the Thankful Revolution tribe while you're doing that.
Well, thank you so much, Miriam. Everyone, we've been speaking with Miriam Smith Stevens and the Thankful Revolution Legacy Group, LLC, is the name of her company. Again, you'll find all of her contact information in the show notes. Miriam, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Tami. It's been a pleasure talking with you. And again, everybody out there, just enjoy your life. Regardless of the bumps and bruises, you're not out. You still got breath in your body. So let's use it for good.
Everyone, go make it a beautiful day.